morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Google Meet. A few things. I will be opening up the link to the workout journal for week number 3 tomorrow. So stay tuned for, sorry, not tomorrow, on Thursday. Tomorrow I'll be posting a new workout. Hopefully you got an opportunity to maybe test out the workout that I did, that I posted on Monday, as it was a push-up challenge. Understand that when you're doing that, if you're doing that push-up challenge, any type of push-up that you do, whether it's a modified, and a modified one is using your knees to anchor your body, or a full push-up, it doesn't really matter. It's still a ample workout. Okay, it's still a decent workout, decent strength workout. Another thing, the Jamboards are due tonight, so please add your sticky notes. If you've make sure that you're adding one for each of the letters of SMART, so the S, an M, an A, an R, and a T. And if there's no room on the board, just add a board after the question to add more to the sticky note. Understand though, make sure that your name, first name with your last name initial, are on each of your stickies that you post on the Jamboard. Okay, so when I go in to have to mark it, I want to be able to see I want to know. I want to be able to identify whose it is, who posted what. So please make sure that you are putting your name on your sticky notes. Okay. Question here. Once we already put our sticky notes, can we still put your name? Yes, you should be able to. I mentioned it to some students this morning, and I saw they were able to make the modification. Worst case scenario, delete your sticky and just copy and paste it, just copy and paste it into a new sticky if you can't edit it. But I think you are able to edit your sticky note. First name is fine. Just make sure it's your first with your last name initial, because there are some people who have there are several of you who have, let's say, another classmate who has the same first name. Okay, so make sure that that you include your first name with your last name initial on it. Okay, so do we have to put one sticky note on each letter? Yes, you need to put one for an S, an M, an A, an R, and a T. For the second board, you can just put one big sticky note to include your S, your M, your A, your R, your T. You can do the same thing if you want with, even for the first question. It is your choice how you're going to display everything. If you want, I saw one group, someone took the liberty of putting the letter SMART up at the top of the board, and everyone just kind of started adding underneath each one of their appropriate letters. Great idea to whoever came up with that in one of the Jamboards. So again, see, like, just little things like that. That's how we make the work that we do that much more efficient. That's us taking our work to that next level. Because one of the things that I don't, some of you are starting to realize, and is when you answer questions, don't just look at, okay, so take, for example, one of the questions that I asked about the benefits, or sorry, one of the strategies to get youth to be more physically active, and I had a student who said, walking. And it's like, okay, well, what about walking? Don't we walk around our house? Isn't that considered exercise? So you've got to be specific. Okay, you've got to be specific. One of the things that I addressed in that introduction, where you were kind of just answering questions about yourself, right? Like, there were students who would be like, I like pizza. And then someone was like, I love pizza. My favorite pizza is pepperoni and pineapple and bacon and mushrooms. So they were telling me the toppings. Some people were telling me which pizza chain they love to get their pizza from. So do you see here how a question as simple as what's your favorite food, right? Level one, I love pizza. Okay. And then like a level three, level four is I love pepperoni and pineapple on my pizza. I love bacon on my pizza, peppers, mushrooms, whatever it is. I love getting pizza from Pizza Pizza, maybe because they have their, it's a cheap pizza, or it doesn't cost very much. I remember, like, I not liking pizza or not liking a certain topping on a pizza, and now I can't eat pizza unless that topping is on it. Like, that's engaging in conversation. So that's the one thing that I'm always looking for. Like, remember that when you're writing for me, you're writing like as if we are trying to carry a conversation, right? Think about if you're ever having to carry a conversation. You're talking to someone, you're trying to get to know somebody, right? You're trying to allow someone to understand your point of view. But how can someone understand your point of view if you give them 1-2 word responses, right? Even if you give them a 1 sentence response, like, I love pizza. Oh, and now I've got to do the extra work and be like, oh, so where do you go buy your pizza? Oh, I buy it here. Okay, so why do you like that pizza? Have you ever tried it somewhere else? Like, no. Like, think about how boring that conversation is going to be back and forth. All of a sudden, it's like one person's doing all the work, and the other person is like, nah. Like, so again, when you are giving an answer, think, how can I go beyond? Right. One of the questions I asked in that password management lesson: have you ever had an account compromised? And students will be like, "I never had my account compromised." Okay, great. That's fantastic that you didn't. But explain. Were there things that that you did that made sure that your account wasn't compromised? Or maybe, hey, I don't get involved. I don't sign up for very many things where I need to give my email address, because I understand that there's some of you who aren't registered on accounts for certain things, let's say, right? Because some games, in order to play a certain game, you need to be logged into an account, and that account's logged in usually with an email address. So maybe you're not involved in that, but tell me that, right? Like, share that information, right? That's how you expand on your work. Because remember, when I evaluate and I have someone who says, I love pizza. Actually, we'll put it down low because that's level one. And then someone who explains why they love pizza. Please don't tell me you are both at the same level. So someone who's written a whole paragraph and someone who's written a line, right? You're not on the same level. So you can't get the exact same kind of mark as someone else. So understand that really, when we evaluate, we're not evaluating that because you wrote something. Here, I wrote a word. I wrote, I love pizza. Someone else wrote a whole paragraph about why they love pizza. You don't get the same thing. Like, we don't look, and one thing to understand here, especially at the high school level, we're looking for you to be able to, like, expand on your thoughts and really dig deep about your thoughts, right? And here's one thing that you need to challenge yourself. You need to challenge yourself to be able to expand on what you have to write. So look at what you have to write. How can I expand? Ask yourself a who, a what, a why, a when, a how within your first sentence. Okay, so look at those and ask yourself those five, those 5 questions about your point, and see how much you can expand on whatever it is that you are answering, and be detailed. Remember that when we look at, so as much as I know what I'm looking for, when I look at it, I look at it as if I don't know. So I'm looking to see how well is this person explaining to me something, right? So like one thing I'll have students sometimes, especially when I've taught the science, junior level science, grade 9 and 10, or senior level chemistry or bio. I've had students will be like, "Sir, you know what I mean." I'm like, "No, you have to explain that in your writing. I don't know what you mean. If I'm reading what you're writing and you're not explaining it to me, don't tell me you know what I mean." Like, no, you have to be very very clear with your point, with the message you want to send to the person who is your audience at that moment. Okay, so you can't just assume they know what I mean, right? Because in the end, it'll be like, here's the homework, and be like, and I'll have a student who will ask me, "But sir, how do we really do this?" I go, "You know what I mean." What? That's not going to work. That's not going to fly as a comment on my end to tell you, right? So again, you need to be clear. So when I'm asking my questions, I try to be as clear as possible. Sometimes I may not be, and one of the best indicators of maybe something I'm saying is I'm not being clear based on how many times am I getting questions on this specific thing. So if I'm assigning something and I notice there's a lot of questions being asked about this, clearly I was not clear with what. So I have to go in and maybe reword what I'm writing. That's why I do the Google Meets, because sometimes I might not be getting the point across. So all of a sudden it's like there's the feedback that I'm getting. The feedback that's being given to me regarding my maybe not so great explanation or poor explanation, if you want to call it that. That feedback is coming from you in the sense that, hey, look at this, in the 5 minutes that I've posted this, I've already gotten 3 questions that are all similar in nature on this topic. So clearly, in such a short amount of time, I got so many questions on. So clearly, there is something that has not been that's not clear, or that there's something wrong. Some of you brought to my attention about the Jamboard and how things weren't working. When I sent it out, I assumed it was working. I tested it out and I noticed only one of my classes was working. The other 2 wasn't working. So do you see here, all of a sudden it's like, hey, I'm getting this feedback, and now I understand. Like, okay, so right now I've got a group of students who are not accessing it. Once we got everyone accessing it, then I got to figure out, okay, like I had a student who said they couldn't access it this morning. I went to check. The board was filled with material, so I know that students are able to. So one of the troubleshoots is, okay, are you using your device? Because I tried to click on Jamboard within Google Classroom on my phone. So on my phone this morning, I tried to click on Google Classroom. When I clicked on the Jamboard within Google Classroom, the app, Google Classroom, it said unsupported. So I knew that within Google Classroom, it would not allow me to use Jamboard. But when I went into the Jamboard app all of a sudden opened up, and it allowed me to make changes to anything I was going to post. Okay, so all of a sudden, like, yeah, now it's the troubleshooting. So what you want to do is you want to troubleshoot. So what are some things that you can troubleshoot? Well, as some people were posting, refresh the page, right? When students refresh the page, they realized after I had enabled the editing capabilities for some groups, they were able to edit the Jamboard. Maybe you're logged in with your own personal Google account. So in which case you need to be on our TCDSB account. So again, just make sure that like these are just little things to be aware of. Make sure that you're logged in using the TCDSB, because any outside TCDSB will not allow you to run it. Okay, so today, if you can get a workout in. I got a workout in this morning. I just came back from bike riding and playing tennis with my daughter, and now I'm going to be here on my computer doing a bunch of work. So try to get a workout in if you can. Make sure your name and last name initial is on the Jamboard on each one of your postings, or put one big post for all the letters for SMART, and also make sure you're answering the question on the second Jamboard as well. Remember that add to the Jamboard if there's no space. Make sure that you've completed the quiz. The quiz is due at 3 p.m. today. And that's it. That's your homework for today. That quiz and finishing the Jamboard. I am going to have a new assignment for you. I will be posting tomorrow, but this one you'll have some time to work on. You'll have tomorrow. I'll give you a couple of days to worry about it. So don't worry in terms of, oh my goodness, he's going to assign something new tomorrow and it's going to be due right away. No, you're going to have some days to work on it. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a long activity. But I do want you to try to catch up. There's some of you who've not completed work. Please make sure you complete work. Don't just submit it, or please send me a note stating I finally completed something that I've not completed, because we're trying to boost some of those marks. Some of those marks are rather low, so we want to try to boost, try to improve those marks from that midterm. Understand that you could still improve those marks from the midterm. If you are one of those high flyers in the 90s, keep working hard. You don't want to lose that that high mark. But if you're not, marks a little bit lower, you still have time. So don't give up. Okay, don't give up. Try to complete the work. Again, stop and think about, how can I expand on the work that I'm doing? We meet again tomorrow at same time at 11. I don't have a staff meeting, so we will be starting at 11 tomorrow and Thursday. Friday, we are not going to have a Google Meet, because on Friday at 11, you are doing something with guidance. Okay, so I am going to keep that in mind. So Friday, the only thing I'm going to be assigning is just a workout, and of course your workout journal to work on for Friday and the weekend. So I will be enabling the journal as of Thursday, maybe Friday morning. So if you are on one of the links and you're trying to click on the link, you'll know that the link is closed. I've closed the link to prevent anyone from submitting week 3 journal too early. Okay, so that's why I've locked up locked up access to that journal. Okay, so so that is it for today's Google Meet. I will stick around to answer any of your questions. Other than that, have yourselves a wonderful day, everyone. Take care.
I hope you liked this video. If you did, do not be shy to hit that thumbs up button. And while you're clicking the thumbs up, click on that subscribe to stay tuned to my new videos. Thanks for watching.